Dear students, hello and welcome. I welcome you to the online course Psychology of Individual Differences, and our today's topic is Concept and Determinants of Individual Differences. The objectives of the lecture include to know about the nature of individual differences, to know about the heredity as a determinant of individual differences, to be aware about the environment as a determinant of individual differences, to understand the influence of personality, intelligence, emotional intelligence, aptitude, attitude, interest, and age as determinants of personality differences, and to know about the influence of education and economic conditions on individual differences. Dear students, it is an admitted fact that no two individuals are similar to each other. They do differ on the basis of different characteristics of their personalities. Taking into consideration their physical appearance, we come across people having dark or fair complexion. There are some people who are tall and some are short, some very thin and some are very fat. When we consider their psychological characteristics, we find them talkative or less talkative, very reserved or outgoing. Such differences among individuals are called as individual differences. Individual differences refer to the kind of variations among people on some psychological aspects like intelligence, personality, interest and aptitude. Terming it differently, individual differences refer to the variation or deviations among individuals in regard to their personality characteristics. So, individual differences among individuals distinguish or separate them from one another and make one as a different, separate and unique individual. Now, nature of individual difference. Individual variation is a universal phenomena and hence no two persons are exactly alike. People do differ from each other in some way or the other. The differences in temperament, personality, intelligence, achievement and physical factors such as height and weight reflect a wide range of normal variations among individuals. Psychologists are of the opinion that individual differences are the differences among individuals with respect to a single characteristic or a number of characteristics of their personalities. These characteristics distinguish one individual from another and make him or her unique. People develop their unique personality traits because of their genetic makeup and the environment they live in and are brought up. Children develop at different rates and we observe racial and gender developmental variations also. There are some children who grow rapidly and others grow very slowly. Children are compared to one another on the basis of individual differences. Children are found different in their social maturity, ability, motivation, intelligence, aspiration, learning styles, needs, attitudes, aptitudes, interests and potential. In addition to it, there are other factors underlying individual differences. These variations or differences may include differences in social and economic background, variations in past learning experiences, etc. In order to understand the full range of human behavior, we need to consider the variations that can occur from one person to another. A thorough knowledge of individual differences helps in identifying children with special needs. On the basis of this knowledge, we can utilize the capabilities of people efficiently for their healthy and rich development. In order to provide support and utilize an individual's potential to optimal level, it becomes imperative to know about the specific characteristics of that individual. Now, students, let us go through the causes of individual differences. Individual differences among individuals are the differences found in their capacities and capabilities, potentialities and propensities, personality, intelligence and emotional intelligence. Again, people differ in their attitudes and aptitudes, interests and sentiments, temperaments and traits, age and sex, and learning style. The causes responsible for bringing about these variations are both genetic as well as environmental. Now, students, let us understand the factors based on heredity, or you may call it as genetic factors. Differences among individuals are to a great extent influenced by heredity factors, and hence we inherit certain characteristics from our parents through genetic codes. People do share similarities with their parents in respect of many physical attributes like height, color of eyes, shape of nose, etc. They inherit certain cognitive, emotional, and certain other characteristics from their parents like intellectual competence, creativity, etc. Heredity does contribute to sex, intelligence, and other specific abilities. The various endowments, abilities, and capacities provided by heredity decide the path of progress and development of an individual. Heredity consists of specific genes which an individual receives from his parents at conception. Thus, people belong to different heredity stock and are bound to differ in their native endowments and characteristics. Students, terming it differently, the variations in heredity characteristics cause differences between individuals. Heredity puts certain limits upon individuals' growth and development in various dimensions. The types of genes one inherits determine the extent of similarities and dissimilarities on various traits of his or her personality, intelligence, and values, etc. Heredity factors contribute directly towards the differences in individuals with respect to their color of various internal and external body organs. These factors also contribute indirectly by creating differences in the individuals in relation to sex, intelligence, and other specific abilities. The presence of particular gene or combination of genes brings about all the characteristics of an individual, and his or her future nature, temperament, etc. are based on these genes. However, our characteristics develop on the support we get from the environment we live in. The kind of atmosphere at house, the type of education that we get, cultural practices, peers, teachers, and media all refer to environment which helps us in developing our potentialities. Students, now let us understand some of the environmental factors that influence our personalities. Whether nature or nurture plays a stronger role in development of an individual is very much debatable. In fact, both have their vital roles to play in developing the wholesome personality of an individual. It is not our inheritance alone that can decide what we become, but our environment also contributes for the same. Environment is also responsible in playing its key role in individual differences. Every person from birth to death gets a different environment. Individual differences occur on the basis of stimulation received by individual from his or her external environment, which may include one's family setup, peer group, economic status, education, etc. Environment provides the opportunities which help us to develop many traits and skills. Our genetic codes vary and surrounding environments also differ from person to person. Hence, the pattern of development of each of us is different from others. The family environment, socio-economic status, peer influences, school environment, culture and customs cause variety of conditions to determine individual differences. Environmental influences bring individual differences in behavior, activities, attitude and style of life, personality and other characteristics, etc. Besides physical surroundings, environment also refers to the different types of people, their culture, customs, traditions, social heritage, ideas, ideals, and in fact, the whole society. The psychological environment is responsible for shaping personalities determined by interpersonal relationship among parent-child and other members of the family. Two human beings belonging to the same family and having similar schooling face different environment. Supporters of this approach believe that experiences provided by different environmental conditions and stimuli shape personalities. This approach attributes individual differences, variations to the environmental causes. The environmentalists are of the view that the greatest part of the individual differences is attributable to the cultural, social and educational opportunities of an individual. Hereditarians believe that education can hardly increase capacity, and they also point out that natural difference would find out expression regardless of the amount of formal education. In fact, it is the interaction between nature and nurture which is responsible in any individual's development. Heredity does not operate in a vacuum. This principle of interaction indicates that nature sets the limits of individual development in regard to various psychological functions, but it is equally true that nurture is no less important in determining the extent to which the potentialities shall be developed and the direction in which they should be utilized. Dear students, now let us see how one's personality affects the individual differences. Individuals do differ because of the differences in personalities. It is because of an individual's unique personality that he or she is able to stand out in the crowd. This personality refers to the characteristic pattern of thoughts, feelings and behaviors of an individual. Psychologists, on the basis of their tireless studies, classified individuals into many groups on the basis of their personality characteristics. Carl Jung, the famous psychoanalyst, for example, has divided individuals into two groups, introverts and extroverts. This refers to the psychological classification of people. The American psychologist R.B. Cattell has put people into the surgent and non-surgent categories. The former is similar to Carl Jung's extrovert, while the surgeless resembles his introvert type. Extroverts are characterized as being sociable, assertive, and cheerful, optimistic, fun-loving, and friendly. Introverts are characterized as being shy, socially withdrawn, reserved, imaginary, indecisive, and socially sensitive. The American famous psychologist E.L. Thorndike has divided people into 4 categories on the basis of thinking. These categories include abstract thinkers, ideational thinkers, objective thinkers, and thinkers in whom sensory experience is predominant. These names indicate the peculiarities of thinking in these individuals. Undoubtedly, personality characteristics cause behaviors to happen. An individual responds to others and objects in their surroundings based on his or her unique personality. It is an admitted fact that every facet of an individual's existence is affected by his or her personality. The individual's preferences, decisions, choices, goals, ambitions, attitudes, and habits all are determined by his or her personality characteristics. Individuals are described as aggressive, humble, social, unsocial, antisocial, honest, dishonest, and sympathetic on the basis of their personality traits. The personality differences bring out the differences in one's intellectual pursuits and achievements. Dear students, now let us see how intelligence as a personality factor affects individual differences. Individuals differ on the basis of the differences in their intelligence. Some children inherit high intelligent quotients, while others receive low intelligent quotients. The psychologist Terman has divided people into 9 classes according to their level of intelligence. The first one is the genius, next near genius, then there is the third one, very superior intelligence, then superior, average, then backward, then feeble-minded people, then there is the category of dull, and the last one, that is the idiot. Intelligence is the powerful factor that helps individuals to learn. The more intelligent you are, the faster you are at learning things. Persons with below average intelligence face much difficulty in learning. It is very difficult, rather not possible, to send children to schools with an intelligence quotient of below 50. Children with IQs between 50 to 70 can learn only the simplest tasks. Generally, 40 to 60% of the children in schools are having their IQs varying between 95 to 105, being the children with average intelligence who form the basis for the formulation of the syllabus and curriculum as well as the methods of teaching. Children who are either above or below average level require the provision of special educational methods and conditions. Children with IQs varying between 115 and 120 are considered as brilliant children. Intellectually gifted individuals can think in terms of abstractions and are well known as the problem solvers. Gifted or advanced students learn more quickly, deeply, and broadly as compared to their peers with average intelligence. Gifted students are characterized to exhibit high reasoning ability, creativity, curiosity, a large vocabulary, and an excellent memory. Students, now let us see how emotional differences influence individual differences. Emotional differences exist among individuals. People do differ on the basis of their varied emotional expressions. Some people are emotionally stable and mature, while others are emotionally less stable and hence immature. There are some people who are irritable by temperament and get angry very soon, but others are of peaceful nature and do not get angry so easily. Some individuals exhibit positive emotions of love, affection, etc., and are more prevalent, while others show negative emotions very frequently. Emotionally intelligent people have the ability to monitor their own emotions and to understand the others' feelings as compared to people having less emotional intelligence. They are more able in perceiving, using, understanding, and managing their emotions. Now, let us see the age differences and how these differences affect one's personality. Students, age being another factor is also responsible for bringing individual differences. Since there are various stages of growth and development, the physiological and mental changes in individuals take place according to the stages of growth and development. Age factor is responsible for differences in mental ability, aptitude, sensibility, etc. of individuals. Age as a factor can cause differences in physical appearance and vitality among individuals. People differ in the emotions, interests, and abilities while they mature with respect to their age. Emotions of young children are characterized as short-lived, while as older children show more enduring emotions. Interests of the individual's learning ability and adjustment capacity naturally differ with age. A grown-up individual can acquire better control over his or her emotions and share better social responsibilities. Now, students, there is aptitude. Aptitude is one of the personality factors that affects individual differences. Students, variations among the individuals exist with respect to their specific tastes and interests. There are people who take interest in meeting others, attend social functions, while others feel happy in solitude and avoid social gatherings. Likewise, people are found to have different aptitudes. There are some people who have mechanical aptitude, while others have scholastic, musical, or artistic aptitudes. It has been observed that a learner with high aptitude gains knowledge at greater speed with no difficulty as compared to other learners. Attitudes and interests. Individuals differ on the basis of their attitudes. They are found to possess varying attitudes towards different people, objects, and ideas. They may be having positive, negative, or even indifferent type of attitudes. In the same way, people do differ in respect of their beliefs, opinions, and ideas. Some are found very much conservative and rigid, while others are found as progressive, liberal, and dynamic. Home environment is responsible for developing attitudes among children. Individuals are found different in their interests too. There are some individuals who may be having interest in literary tasks, while as others show interest in scientific areas. There is another group of individuals who may have interest in more than one areas like music, politics, and also in religious activities. Dear students, now let us understand some of the environmental factors that influence individual difference. Education is regarded as one of the major factors responsible for bringing about individual differences. Social, emotional, and intellectual traits of individuals are all controlled and modified through proper education. This education is a strong and potent instrument that brings a change in our attitude, behavior, appreciations, and other characteristics of our personality. It is seen that instinct and emotions dictate an uneducated person, whereas educated persons are guided by their reasoning and logic. Students, economic conditions. Economic conditions of the parents and their education are potent factors which cause individual differences. Some children belonging to poor families are not able to acquire the proper education. Quite contrary to it, children of the richer families are able to acquire the best possible education. Thus, it is not possible for children of two economic classes, even though possessing equal amount of intelligence, to have similarity and equality with respect to access in education and other opportunities. Dear students, to conclude, we may say that individual differences are seen among human beings on the basis of their varied personality characteristics, and hence no two individuals are alike. People develop their unique personality traits because of their genetic makeup and the environment they live in and are brought up. In fact, both have their vital roles to play in developing the wholesome personality of an individual. It is not our inheritance alone that can decide what we become, but our environment also contributes for the same. It is in fact the interaction between nature and nurture which is responsible in any individual's development. Students, it was all for today. I hope that you might have enjoyed this session. Thanks.